Hi malt mates, welcome to review 1120 X for extras. Extra content, extra opinion, extra perspective, extra narrative, extra extras. Well, not quite extra extras, that's separate videos. But this one, I'm going to talk about where I am with Irish whiskey. Because at the beginning of the year, I had a wee feeling that it was time either to go to Ireland to a whisky festival, probably in Cork, I think, rather than Dublin, and just have the experience, immerse myself a little bit in a whisky genre, a geographical whisky location, where if you really want to know about it, you're best to actually go there and, excuse the pun, immerse yourself in the experience. So, because I've got a lot on my plate at the moment, I'll have to delay my visit to Ireland to the Whisky Festival. But in the meantime, I was online narrowing it down as to what Irish whisky I wanted to buy to review for you to give a really good positive feedback, because I think Ireland deserves it, because they're going through a hell of a lot at the moment that they really don't deserve. They're being taken advantage of again, because they're basically good-natured, sensible, pragmatic people, and that's what happens. In the meantime, the Irish whisky industry, the new whisky industry, the new generation industry is coming of age. It's not that long ago that when we were looking for choice, it was Tullamore Dew, it was Jameson's, of course, which is Ireland's version of Glenfiddich, Scotch whisky, you know, accessible, quaffable, chuggable, forgettable. But it can be good, it can be very good, but the owners have a dreadful habit of over-processing and neutering their whisky with chill filtration. And in the north of Ireland, you've got Bushmills. And Bushmills has got a very checkered history. It keeps having new owners. It doesn't have one stable ownership that kind of tends to kind of look after and keep the theme going. It's a long time since I've bought a bottle of Bushmills, because when I did a number of years ago, it was incredibly sweet and I really didn't enjoy it. And when I look at the better calibre of bottlings of Bushmills, I have to say I'm very quickly put off by what is evidently the over-processing and over-pricing, because it's a dominant brand. You've got exactly the same with Jameson's and its permutations in the form of green spot, yellow spot, red spot, blue spot, spot, gold spot, platinum spot. Have we got round to lithium spot yet? Maybe not. Stardust spot, that'll be on the card somewhere. The marketing department no doubt are working on it. Diamond spot, that'll be the next one, because that's a nice cliched little reference. But this is the so-called independent bottlings of Jameson's. The in-house sort of independent, sort of upmarket sippers bottlings are called Redbreast. Redbreast used to be really quite reliable, good and fairly priced. Some of the bottlings can still be pretty good, but the price of all of them has got too expensive generally. Particularly if you want anything with an age statement, the price is getting absolutely ridiculous, but not as absolutely farcical ridiculous. I mean, just an opinion, folks, just an opinion. Just while it's still legal to have one. Whew, can't be long now. Middleton Rare. Seriously? The price people are paying for that? You know, Rolex got caught out badly. I don't think it'll be too long before Middleton Rare gets caught out. The absurdity and banality of the preposterous. If you want a bottle of that, buy Middleton in its fancy wooden box with a certificate, and if you pay enough, you'll even get a green Fabergé egg. Ooh, the anticipation. Except that you're a malt mate, you're more grounded and you're not invested in bollocks, therefore you won't be buying any of that. And let me assure you, there's no need when you've got a bottle of this and you taste it and you discover how damn good it is. I've just reviewed this. It's lovely, lovely stuff. I gave it 86 out of 100 as a malt mark. And frankly, there's many Scotch whiskies don't even achieve that. I really enjoy the fact, and I'm just going to say it, Irish whisky is not hobbled by legal requirements that are applicable to Scotch whisky. Scotch whisky has very strict, narrow fields of definition. It's not that it needs to be produced and bottled in Scotland. I mean, I totally agree with that. But to restrict Scotch whisky to be only matured in oak casks not exceeding 700 litres is really quite restricting. And frankly, it's increasingly going to be a problem in the forthcoming years, because one of the things that makes Irish whisky more exciting is the mixed mash bill going through a pot still. In this case, with this bottling, malted barley, unmalted barley. So we've got a pot still going here, single pot still going, and then they're adding oats, and then they're adding rye. In a mash bill, fascinating. Not only that, they're maturing in Madeira casks. But if they wanted, they could mature in chestnut casks, although it's not recommended because chestnut wood leaks like a sieve. It's not good. But cherry casks, absolutely. Rowan casks, it's feasible. Birch casks, yeah, doable. Little bit brittle, could be rather sweet. Very sweet wood, in fact, depending on the time of year it's harvested. But this is different from Scotch whisky. It's not geographically different. The whole manufacturing process and the culture of it is different. And that matters to me. And this is something that came home a little bit loud and clear when I happened to be online and I went to the Celtic Whisky Shop, which if you're in Dublin, I recommend you go and visit, because I've been advised by friends that it's a very friendly and helpful place. So I had a look at their online website, and I saw that they deliver to outside to Europe, and that's fine. And well, I live in the Isle of Man, which is only 20 miles away from Ireland. It's almost as near as Scotland, and it's certainly nearer than Wales, and it's certainly nearer than England. But they won't deliver to the Isle of Man. And it's all down to bureaucratic bumbling. So sad, too bad. Only a few of the better Irish whiskies are available in UK retailers where I am restricted to buying my whisky from, all due to a bureaucracy and BS. BS is short for, you've already figured it out. I'll quickly move on. So I had a look at some of the whiskies there. I saw from Wicklow, from Glendalough, they had a peated pot still whisky. Fascinating. I've never heard of peated pot still whisky. I knew pot still's a thing, but not peated. I was very interested. I would have loved to have bought a bottle. I saw a bottle of Powers bottled at 47%. I'd have liked to have bought a bottle of that. And also a cask strength Writer's Tears, highly recommended by my Scotch whisky malt mates, but again, I couldn't get it. I mean, there's two reasons for this, and I'll give you the two reasons shortly. You already know one, but I'll remind you. And I had a look at some other whiskies that looked really, really interesting. What I did was I looked at everything and said, right, if it's 40%, forget it. I don't care the price. 40%, that's mixing, not sipping. 43%, I'll consider about it, depending on the price. So there was no chance of me buying any 43% whiskies. I was pleasantly surprised at the number of options, the choice and the variety. Some of the whisky is clearly not very good, which is why it goes into a fancy bottle and the price is less than you would expect to pay. Hint, hint, there's a clue. But the closer I looked, the more I kind of started to realise, see the best Irish whiskies, the real, genuine best Irish whiskies, they're sold out because the Irish people have got there first, and good on them. It shows good taste. They're discerning, they know what they've got, and they're keeping it on their own green emerald island, and why wouldn't they? I'd narrowed it down to 6 whiskies that I wanted to buy, but I couldn't get it delivered, so I had to go back to the UK. And I'm stifling a great big prolonged yawn, because I'm looking at Jameson's and Redbreast and, oh dear, what else have we got? I've got the Tullamore Dew, yes, yeah. Honestly, how to make a whiskey as boring as possible. It's just an opinion. It's just an opinion. And Bushmills, yeah, forget that. Generally overpriced and poorly delivered because it's corporate owned. And corporations do not care about caring consumers. It's true. Look at the pattern. They're too big, they're too bureaucratic, they're too distant. And they only ever refer to their customers as consumers. They never use the customer word. It's like a dirty word in the marketing department. What customers? Oh, no, 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 no. Put them in their box. Give them their status. They're consumers. Just like grazing sheep in a field, munching away in the grass and finding the odd potato that slipped out the field beside it. Right, consumers. Grazers. That's their attitude. I find that very repelling. I find that very off-putting. This is why I come back to the smaller distilleries. I just think they're automatically more interesting, which generally they are, if the price is right, if the presentation is on point. And that seriously narrows down what's available to me buying in the UK. Because the UK tends to still be focused on cliched Irish whiskey brands and does not really stock in any meaningful way the genuinely exciting stuff. As I've said, this is an opinion. I'm just giving an opinion. I know that people are going to be offended, particularly some industry professionals. And they'll be huffing and puffing and tutting and wondering why I haven't been cancelled yet. But there we go. Someday, probably, but not just yet. In the meanwhile, I shall furnish videos on YouTube giving my own opinion along with carefully researched, tasted, time spent whiskies which I really just want to share with you. And sure, they might not be available where you are. However, when you do see them, you'll know more about them than you did if I hadn't created this video. Good luck with your whiskey journey, and remember, every moment is a quality moment if you want to add quality to the quality of your life. Cheers, mates. So true with a good whiskey. The slower you go, the further you'll get. Bye-bye.